guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Lori with Simple Suburban Homestead. I wanted to bring you guys along with me in my kitchen today. I am going to be making a pound cake for my daughter's birthday. She had a birthday earlier this week and the family's going to get together tomorrow to celebrate. This particular pound cake is a lemon pound cake that I grew up eating. It was my grandmother's recipe and it has kind of been passed down through the generations, so it's one of our favorites. I have already measured out my ingredients, so I'm just gonna add them in and get it all set up and mix it and bring you guys the finished product at the end. So I like to use my big KitchenAid mixer for this because this is a heavier recipe. So the first thing that it calls for is sugar. So I have measured out my sugar and it calls for margarine. However, we don't do margarine in this house. We do butter. So we're gonna go ahead and substitute the butter. This is a big recipe. So it calls for a lot of sugar and a lot of butter. And then it calls for 5 eggs. And I have washed my eggs. These are my eggs from my girls out back. My tiny little Delilah egg. She counts too. She's a hard worker. It's funny because she is one of my 3 that have been broody twice. I don't have any roosters, so I've had to give her eggs from a friend who does have roosters. And she is a little red-headed spitfire. She rules the roost out there. So her little eggs count too. Let me wash my hands real fast. I'm sure all of you probably have recipes that have been handed down, and when you make them or when you taste them, you just feel like you're with that loved one that has made it in the past. I'm gonna put this under my KitchenAid and let it mix real quickly. I wanna stir up those first few ingredients good. I was very blessed. I lived for 46 years on the same property that my grandparents lived on. I was raised on it and I didn't move away until 10 years ago. My grandmother lived to be 91 and my grandfather lived to be 98. So I got my grandma for 48 years and my grandpa for 52. He's been gone 4 years this year. He died in 2000, missing all the excitement of the virus. Well, I can't say that. It had started when he was still alive when it started, but okay. So now it calls for all-purpose flour, baking, oh, I forgot, the vanilla. So it calls for vanilla or lemon extract. And so I think what I'm gonna do is do a half and half. I asked my daughter what she preferred and she said that she thinks she's pretty much done both. So I'm gonna divide it up and do half a teaspoon of both of those. I apologize for my shakiness. Have a little extra lemon in that. I have what's called familial tremors, if I say that properly. And it's nothing more than a type of tremor that's handed down through the generations. My grandfather had it, my mom has it, and I have it, and I have some medication I can take for it, but I'm not a big medicine person, so I tend to not do that if I can help it. So after the vanilla, I'm gonna mix it one more time real fast. Should mix that in. Okay. Now it calls for all-purpose flour, with a teaspoon of baking powder and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So I'm just gonna mix my baking powder right in with my flour. Just gonna kind of eye the salt. I don't feel like digging all my utensils out. That's probably good. I'm going to give this a quick stir, and then we're going to mix this in slowly with 1 cup of evaporated milk. Not sweetened, condensed, evaporated for this one. So I've got my 1 cup. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the flour, and you alternate this as you mix it in. So we're gonna put a little bit of our flour in. And then we're gonna come back and put a little bit of the evaporated milk. This mixer's big and it's hard to get that liquid underneath it. So I'll just turn it on and off each time. It won't take a minute. This is a really good recipe. We like to top it with a homemade icing of just lemon juice and powdered sugar. Gonna add a little bit more of the milk. The evaporated milk. I'm gonna go ahead and add about half of it because I didn't add as much the last time. It didn't. Woo! That almost went overboard. We took a little field trip this morning, my son that homeschools, and we got our meat birds. So we got 5 meat bird babies that I had posted a video of earlier today. That's always fun. And our quail are getting big, and we have more quail in the incubator that are going to go on lockdown on Sunday. So I have 10 more eggs in there. Hopefully we'll get 8 babies, 9 babies. Hopefully we'll get 10 babies, but you never know. Okay. This is mixing off the side of this mixer really well. I'm not seeing a lot of flour or anything up on the side, so that's good. And I'm going to go ahead and add the end of the milk. We're going to let that run for just a minute. And our son that lives in around the San Antonio area, they send us pure vanilla, and it is so good. They sent us 2 bottles of it last time. It's really, really good. Much different than what you buy in the grocery store. Give this one a quick. Now with this recipe, you could put lemon zest in it as well. And I think I have a lemon, but for time, for today, I did not put the lemon zest in it. But I did use the lemon extract, so that will be helpful in the lemon flavoring. And then we'll use lemon juice for the icing as well. So that'll make it good and lemony. Okay. So now that we did this, I went ahead beforehand and buttered and floured my bundt pan. And we're just gonna go ahead and put this in here, like so. Oh, that looks so good. That looks so yummy. I need to go let my Piper out for a while today. Any of you who have been following me, I have a almost 8-month-old little male cockatiel, and he does not have his flight wings. When I bought him, he was about, I'm gonna say 8 or 9 weeks old, and they had trimmed his flight feathers, his flight wings, and so he's just growing them back. So he's just kind of spreading his wings and learning to fly, I guess you'd say. But he also is never gonna have full reign of my house. He's in our Florida room, and he can have all the flying down there that he wants. I don't have to worry about him getting into any mischief or eating any plants that will hurt him, or if we're cooking, getting into anything on the stove that could potentially hurt him. I am going to put this in the oven. It's gonna bake at 350 for 70 to 80 minutes. And then after I dump it out, I'll bring you guys back. I hope y'all are having a wonderful day. There it is, right, fresh out of the oven, lemon pound cake. I'll show you guys after we put the drizzle on it. Back to the lemon pound cake, and she's done. Gave her a little lemon drizzle. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Thank you for subscribing, and I'll bring you more content soon. God bless.